Have you ever gotten exactly what you wanted and immediately started ruining it? You finally land the relationship you dreamed about and you start picking fights over nothing. You finally get the raise, the recognition, the win, and instead of celebrating, some part of you starts waiting for it to fall apart. You finally have a quiet, peaceful week and you feel restless, almost guilty, like you don't deserve to just be okay. If that sounds familiar, I need you to hear this. You are not broken. You are not just anxious. You are not bad at being happy. What's actually happening is a lot stranger, and honestly, a lot more interesting than that. Today, we're going deep into the psychology of self-sabotage. Why your mind pulls the rug out from under your own success, your own love, your own peace. By the end of this episode, you're going to understand the 6 hidden mechanisms behind it, and more importantly, what to actually do about each one. Let's get into it. Your brain doesn't protect your happiness, it protects your predictions. Here's the thing nobody tells you about the brain. It was never built to make you happy. It was built to keep you alive, and the way it does that is by making the world predictable. Predictable is safe. Unpredictable is dangerous. Even when unpredictable simply means unfamiliar good thing. So if you grew up in a house where love was conditional, where you had to earn affection, where calm often came right before chaos, your nervous system doesn't file stable, easy love under safe. It files it under unfamiliar, and unfamiliar gets treated like a threat. This is why people who've never experienced consistency sometimes feel more anxious in a healthy relationship than in a chaotic one. The chaos is at least familiar. Your brain would rather have a predictable bad thing than an unpredictable good one. That's not self-destruction. That's miscalibrated self-protection. And the fix isn't just relax. It's slowly teaching your nervous system through repetition that safety isn't a trap. You don't fear failure. You fear the identity failure would confirm. This one's going to sting a little, so stay with me. Most people think they procrastinate on the big goal, the business, the degree, the audition, because they're afraid of failing. But that's not quite it. You're afraid of what failing would prove. If you never really try, you get to keep the story alive that you could have succeeded if only you'd committed. The moment you actually try fully without a safety net, you risk finding out the truth. And some part of you would rather live in comfortable uncertainty than face an answer you can't undo. Psychologists call this a form of self-handicapping. You sabotage the conditions on purpose. You stay up too late before the interview. You submit the application last minute. You half-ass the audition. So that if it goes wrong, you have a built-in excuse that protects your identity. I didn't get it because I was tired. Feels a lot safer than I gave it everything, and it still wasn't enough. The tragic part? The excuse never actually protects you. It just delays the moment you have to try for real. Comfort with struggle can quietly turn into an identity. If you've spent years being the strong one, the one who handles it, the one who's always fighting for something, ease can feel like a costume that doesn't fit. There's a strange kind of grief that shows up when things finally get easy. People who've survived hard chapters of their life sometimes describe feeling almost lost once the crisis passes. Not because they miss the pain, but because the struggle had become part of how they understood who they were. When you don't know who you are without the fight, some part of you will manufacture a new one, a new conflict, a new project that's just a little too much, a new relationship drama. Because a life without struggle doesn't feel like your life, it feels like someone else's. This is why some of the most capable, high achieving people you know can't sit still in success. Rest isn't restful for them, it's disorienting. Self sabotage is often loyalty in disguise, loyalty to the people who raised you. This is the one that reframes everything for most people. So I want you to really sit with it. If you outgrow the emotional ceiling of your family, if you become calmer than the household you grew up in, more financially stable than your parents ever were, more secure in love than anyone modeled for you, a strange kind of guilt can show up. Psychologists sometimes call it a loyalty bind. Some unconscious part of you associates surpassing them with abandoning them. So you self limit. You get close to the breakthrough and then quietly step back, not because you're lazy or scared of success in the abstract, but because success would put distance between you and the people you love. And no one ever taught you how to grow without that distance feeling like betrayal. This is deeply unconscious. Nobody sits down and thinks, I will stay small so my family doesn't feel left behind. But the pattern shows up again and again in people who plateau right before the version of life they say they want. 5. Your inner critic isn't trying to hurt you. It's trying to control the damage before someone else can. Here's a reframe that changes how you hear your own negative self-talk. That voice that says, you're going to mess this up. They don't actually like you. You're not good enough for this. It feels like an enemy, but its underlying job is defense. If you can predict your own failure or rejection first, it doesn't hit you unprepared. Getting there first, even if it's painful, feels like some form of control. This is why harsh self-criticism can feel oddly comforting in the moment. It's not comfort exactly. It's the illusion of control. Your critic would rather you brace for the blow than be blindsided by it. The problem is, this protection doesn't just prepare you for pain, it actively creates it. It talks you out of the interview, the message, the risk, before life even gets a chance to respond. It's not defending you from disappointment, it's guaranteeing it. Change doesn't fail because of weak willpower. It fails because your environment and identity haven't caught up. Last one, and this is the piece most self-help content leaves out entirely. You can want change with your whole chest and still sabotage it because willpower was never the real bottleneck. Behavior change sticks when your environment supports it and your self-image matches it. If you're trying to become someone calmer, more disciplined, more secure, but you're still surrounded by the same triggers, the same people who knew the old version of you, the same routines built for who you used to be, you're not fighting a lack of motivation. You're fighting gravity. This is why sabotage often spikes right after a breakthrough, not before it. You have one great week, one real win, and then you blow it up. Because that version of you doesn't have a home yet. There's no environment built for the new identity to live in. So your mind, once again choosing predictability over progress, pulls you back to the version of you it already knows how to run. So here's what I want you to take from this. Self sabotage was never about being lazy, broken, or not wanting it badly enough. It's your mind defending predictions, protecting an identity, staying loyal to the people who raised you, trying to control pain before it arrives, or simply not yet having a life built for the person you're becoming. None of that makes you weak. It makes you human, running very old software in a very new life. The work isn't forcing yourself to just do better. It's noticing which of these six patterns is actually running the show and building new evidence slowly that safety, success, and ease are allowed to belong to you too. And if you made it this far, you're exactly the kind of person this channel is for. Subscribe, because there's a lot more where this came from. I'll see you in the next one.